it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back.
It's here, ladies and gentlemen. I thought we were going to wear suits when the playoffs started. We just remembered
the
that.
playoffs. This is not the play-in.
Okay, you know what? I stand corrected. This is Run It Back. My name is Michelle. Chandler, who is starving today, he's fasting. And then, of course, Lou Will there on the end. Darius Garland will be on the show a little bit later. I almost don't want to have him on because I don't want to jinx anything, but I'm excited to do it.
No, we don't have that type of reputation, do we?
Oh, I don't think we do. I do. Y'all don't.
Oh, okay.
We'll figure it out. But we do have games tonight. Yes, Hawks Magic.
Bye.
First up, it's the 7-8, 7:30 game for everybody. Winner plays Boston. I don't know if that's good or bad. Loser plays the winner of the 9-10, which would be between the Bulls and the Heat. So we got Trae Young, who we know he just loves big game moments. On the other side, we got Paolo Banchero, who is having a career year. And I have to ask you, Chandler, upper hand in this game goes to whom?
I think me and Lou said it yesterday. We kind of like the Hawks in this game just because big game, Trae Young. He's been in the spotlight before. He has dominated the game like this at MSG. So this is kind of a walk in the park for him in Orlando. But listen, the Magic are a 5-point favorites, and they have two extremely versatile wings in Paolo and Wagner. They slow you down. They kind of a clash of styles here. The Magic, they play slow. They're methodical. They're 28th in points per game. The Atlanta Hawks, 5th in 28 in points. So it's a lot of scoring versus a lot of slow down offense, a lot of ISO ball. So it's going to come down to defense. Dyson Daniels is going to have his hands full guarding one of those bigger guys, but I expect a great game. I'm actually kind of shocked by this spread, though. I don't know. I didn't think
it's too big.
I think it is. I think it's going to be tight all game long.
That's why I like it to go Atlanta's way, right? And especially when you have Trae Young at the helm of that. Like, He's not new to adversity in his career. He's not new to being in these type of situations, environments. Like Chandler just mentioned, this is possibly a walk in the park for Trae Young, considering the places that he's played for deciding basketball games and it not being in Orlando. And so for that, I give the Atlanta Hawks the upper hand. You know, this is a team that's three years removed from, you know, the Eastern Conference Finals with a lot of those same pieces, and they found themselves in a play-in game. I think they understand what it takes to get them to the next level.
I'm wondering, it is funny to read the line, the winner gets to play Boston, because it doesn't sound like you really won anything at that point. But I'm wondering if one of these teams, and we know the injuries and everything that happened to Orlando, should one of these teams feel more pressure to extend?
Atlanta.
Okay, it should be that.
Atlanta, yeah, you have a star who's at the crossroads with his organization. You got to figure out whether they're going to put more pieces around him to be successful, or they're going to have a real conversation this summer and figure out another landing spot for him, you know. And I think some of that is determined based on these next couple of games. You know, where do the Atlanta Hawks go in their future from here? With Orlando, on the flip side of that, is you have young stars. You still have some leeway to build, to continue to figure out where you're going to go with your roster, where you're going to go with the future of your organization. And so you basically got the perfect storm. You know, you got a 7-8 year vet on a team that's trying to figure it out, trying to figure out the best way to help him win basketball games. And then on the other side of that, with Orlando, you got a team that's trying to build out superstar level guys. And so I think the pressure is going to go to Atlanta naturally from that.
Yeah, I think there's always been reports of Trae Young. Are they going to move off from him? Is he going to stay there?
Always.
Is he the guy? So I think this is kind of a big statement postseason run that he can make and kind of solidify his future in Atlanta. If not, I think, yeah, it's a possible shopping situation. I think both futures are bright for both of these teams. The health of Jalen Johnson, Atlanta, is obviously extremely important. He's a guy that got a lot better, obviously had the shoulder surgery and is not available. Can this #1 pick, can he pan out? Can he turn into something that they can also be, he can be a franchise type of piece. So there's a lot of questions in Atlanta.
What's his name again?
Russia Shea. But yeah, I mean, and then on the other side, Orlando Magic, they're not fully healthy either. They're missing the other Wagner. They're missing Jalen Suggs. So they're missing some pieces too. But the future, they both have a lot of young, bright pieces and assets.
Let's just, whoever makes it to the first round, do one of these teams, in your eyes, Lou, have a better chance of, making the first round something, which is, 5 games or more?
I like, both of these teams have talent, right? I don't think you can go wrong with either. I think Boston still has a great opportunity of beating both of these teams in a first round series based on, the way that they've been going about business. But, if I have to pick one, I'll still go with the veteran group like in Atlanta. You know, I would go with those guys. You know, you lose Bogey in a trade, you get rid of Dre Hunter, and then you kind of retool with some other guys that help you out, and you try to find your footing from there. You know, and I think they've found a 500 groove, if you will. I think they found that middle ground, but you know, going against Boston, you know, we have Boston pegged to be one of the favorites to get out of the East and win the whole thing. And so saying that, you know, the Orlando Magic or the Atlanta Hawks would give them a run for their money in the first round, I think Atlanta would give them a better opportunity.
And they both would prefer Cleveland. Like, let's not.
Okay, so let's go there.
But again, but
I don't know if they do.
But that's a slippery slope, man. You can't go. You can't pretend like you want to lose this game just to duck the Celtics and get the Cavs, because neither are going to be easy. Neither are going to be a favorable matchup for either of these teams. So again, I think both of them have the talent when they're fully healthy. I think they have a chance. And going into next season, especially like in Orlando, beginning of this season, they were always in that top 4 seed until they literally Wagner went down, Paolo went down, Suggs went down. They kept losing guys one after another. So again, whoever gets 7 or 8, it's not going to be easy, whether it's Cleveland or Boston.
Yeah.
But it's weird that I think subconsciously, or maybe completely outright, people are thinking like maybe Cleveland. Do you think they think that?
You don't play with the basketball guys.
I mean, I really
like
don't think you do.
They're
not trying to lose this game
you
to
do
get
not
Cleveland.
play with the basketball guys.
It's the
like
revenge of LeVert and G-Wagon if they play Cleveland in the first round.
G-Wagon to the moon.
To the moon. It would be interesting. The Hawks have 2-1 records against both the Celtics and the Cavs. I don't know how much stock you want to put into that. But if you're the Celtics, are you watching this game tonight thinking this would be the preferred opponent?
I don't think so. I don't think they carry either way.
I don't think they carry. I don't think they carry either way. I think they're watching though. I think they're just staying in tune. And if anything, it's going to be the Hawks. Like they have winning records against you, so you can't completely overlook them and say this will be a walk in the park. I don't think that'll be the scenario, but. Again, if I'm the Celtics and I'm the defending champion, and this is the time of the year that I've been waiting on, like we've been waiting on the playoffs to have this coming out party to remind everybody who we are and why we are in the position that we're in, I don't think they look at any of these teams as slouches, but I don't think they're losing sleep either.
And the Hawks kind of play like the Celtics. They play fast. They're 3rd in pace. They're 5th in points per game. So they get up and down. They shoot a lot of early threes, a lot of pick and roll. So it's similar styles. The Orlando Magic is the exact opposite. It's a lot of half-court, iso ball, last in assists. So they're not moving the ball, popping around like the Hawks do. So
and that hurts in playoffs.
Exactly. So I think they would almost rather the Hawks, because they're a team that just does it, but does it at a more elite level than they do. The Orlando Magic is just a whole different style. And they defend.
And they defend. The 5 points, I think, I don't know if that's just a home thing, but I thought being at home was only like worth a couple points. Why am I missing? Why is it 5?
I think it's more of like a 1-2 point spread. That's why if I was a betting man, I would be all over Atlanta +5. But this is, again, Wagner and Paolo are good. This team was
really good.
This team was really good, and they also defend. They're a top 5 defense. They, like I said, they slow you down. And again, this is going to be a playoff style game where I think that favors Orlando and just the style.
And make that deal now, because it's early in the morning. I think closer to game time, this is going to shrink.
Oh, that's actually a good point. We should probably do that. Wish we could. We got a same-game parlay. Maybe it's fun. I feel like last time we threw one of these up there, it was a good one. So let's.
And no Jalen Johnson tonight, right? He's out. Like that's a huge blow for Atlanta.
Nope. Paolo Banchero 30 or more, 10 or more rebounds. Trae Young with 10 or more assists. Dyson Daniels 3 or more steals. Lou plus 944. Are you taking it?
I actually would. I like this. Trae Young, 10 assists is a little questionable. Paolo, 30 points is a little questionable. Other than that, with how Dyson Daniels been averaging 3 of these, and
I love that the steals is the one that's like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. That should be the one that we kind of turn our nose up at. But other than that, I don't know. I'd take this.
The Trae Young 10+ assists, I think, is difficult. With Jalen Johnson, I think
he's going to be aggressive.
I think he's going to be aggressive. I think he needs to score 30, 40 points for Atlanta to win this game.
Good Lord. 30 or 40?
Yeah, I think so. He's got to be super aggressive.
Trust me, he's going for it.
Yeah, he's going to. I know. The only thing that makes me nervous when I watch Trae Young, and it's if the shot's not falling and he starts taking some of those weird, crazy early shots, I'm like, God, stop it. Don't do that. That's the only thing I'm worried about. He's
done a better job of it though. Like his shot selection has been great this year, and that's why his assists are up. Like he's been making better plays for his team and himself this season. I don't think that'll be any different tonight. I think he's found a new way to kind of crack the code, and opposed to shooting those deep threes, he's putting more pressure on the rim now.
We got another game. The one out here on the west side. Grizzlies, Warriors. Warriors, they won the season series 3-1. We know that the winner plays Houston and the loser will play the winner of the 9-10 matchup. This is going to be interesting. Third time in 5 seasons that the Warriors find themselves in a play-in. Look, the way their regular season ended was not ideal. The loss to the Clippers being the very last game and then a couple of games they probably should have won. How do you shake that quickly, Chandler, and get yourselves together for tonight?
Well, they're a group of vet guys. They're guys that have been there before. And again, I'm looking at this the opposite of the Eastern Conference play. And I'm looking at this like a must-win because you go out there, there's a small chance either these teams are going to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. Houston Rockets are still, they're a solid team, they're good, but I think you have way more confidence going in, winning this game and going to Houston rather than Oklahoma City. So to me, it's all hands on deck tonight. I think this is a must-win for either team because they have a small chance if they get that, the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first round.
Plus, you can't go play another game. You're old.
And I know the whole they haven't won a play-in, but like you're telling me the big games that Steph and Draymond and Jimmy Butler have played in, they get rattled in a play-in. I don't really think. But that's
well, then explain how they haven't won one.
We can't ignore it though.
Yeah, you can't ignore it.
It's only been 3, first of all, right? 3, 4.
3.
I mean, but that's 3 years. that's 3 years.
Maybe if they lose tonight, I'll look into it and think it's.
Okay, and then it's science.
Maybe
tonight.
Yeah, I think maybe tonight.
I think they win this game tonight. But again, when you're 0-3 and playing games, it's hard to overlook that. It's hard to overlook that. I'm not a superstitious guy. I won't give it that much. But again, these are games that they haven't performed the way that we're accustomed to seeing them play. And so being back in that scenario, it got to be something you at least take a look at.
And it's not like this young team, though. I don't think they're hanging their head. Oh, we could have had home court. I don't think they're that group of
I mean, they're
guys,
probably angry.
But I also think they're arrogant enough to not even feel like they were supposed to lose any of the 3 that they've already lost.
Yeah.
Well, that seems like a really weird, delusional place to live.
Well, you're a champion.
No, I get it.
It's either you're at the mountaintop or I'm going to play and this don't work out for me.
We should have won. They're like, no, that's not how it works. I wonder, is it going to be more about the Warriors are going to win this game, or are we looking at Memphis as like not really sure what happened to them down the stretch? Which one is this tonight, Lou?
I think it's more about the Warriors.
All right.
I think it's their game to lose. And again, the All-Star weekend, can't ignore the fact Draymond went out and said, we're going to win the championship this year. And here you are. This is the first step of making that a reality. And so they're the only team that's put that expectation out there. They're the only team that has actually accomplished that goal 4 different occasions with two of these guys and with that head coach. So this is more of a game for them to lose opposed to it being a surprise if they won.
If they lose, they don't make it out of this thing. Is that championship window officially closed?
I don't think it's closing. You re-sign Jimmy Butler. You go and make the splash. Everyone praises how much better of a difference he's made, which I agree. They are a much better team with Jimmy Butler in the lineup. Their defense is better. Their all-around offense, their movement, everything's better. Podziemski's been great. Kuminga's back in the lineup. He's been great. So I think they still do have pieces to grow with these guys. Now, Draymond, Steph, Jimmy, they are a year older. Yep. I think they need to see one of those big jumps from Kuminga and maybe move one of those guys to the bench next year if this doesn't pan out. They got to tweak something. And obviously they're going to be active in free agency and things like that. But I don't think just by losing this, it kind of closes that gap. They still have Steph Curry. They still have Draymond. They still have Jimmy Butler. And they still have young assets like Moody, Pods, Kuminga to kind of build with for the future. So I don't think it's completely smoked, but it's definitely a letdown for sure.
I think it'll be still open for Steph Curry. Now, this group, as we know it, if they don't win in the play-in this year, the championship window is closed. But I don't think it's closed for Steph Curry. I think he's the one guy that's safe, that will be there. He's gonna finish his career in Golden State, and with that, at his age, I'm pretty sure they're gonna continue to put pieces around him like they just did with Jimmy Butler. Like they'll go into the summer and continue to put pieces around him for him to compete for a championship. Now, does that championship look the same as it does now? I don't think so.
But that's what I mean. With Steph, Dre, Jimmy, Podziemski, Kuminga, like with those 5 guys right there, I think they are going to come back next year regardless of what happens, and they're going to have a solid roster. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's panic mode like Phoenix.
No,
I don't think
but you got to be upset that you didn't take care of business.
Yeah, let's not forget the conversation that was surrounding Draymond before the Jimmy Butler trade. Like, he was in the trade talks. in that position where they wasn't sure what direction that they were going to go in as an organization. Jimmy came in, they ran off 18 out of 20, and that rejuvenated them. And also Draymond saying that they were going to win a championship, and he turned into one of the best defenders in the league. Now, if you get bounced out of the play-in with all of that, you have to go back to the drawing board and continue the conversation that started before the All-Star break.
Yeah, it's definitely eye-opening, and it's maybe, okay, maybe we don't have enough. Maybe we do have to make a move.
But you did. You were in the 6th spot. You just let go of the rope. Like, I feel like you're going to, if you don't make this and get out of this, you're going to regret that you didn't take things a little bit maybe more seriously. If the Grizzlies do not make it out of the play-in, and I don't know what y'all's actual expectations for them is, but do we see a roster shakeup?
I think so. I think they have less expectations than the Warriors do. But they do have something to prove. They just fired their coach. They have a franchise player in John Morant that is super talented, that hasn't won at a high level yet, that's also kind of doing a whole distracting thing the last couple of months that can't be sitting well with the front office. Jaren Jackson Jr. is a stud. Desmond Bane's a stud. They did struck gold with the draft with Edey and Jalen Wells, who's obviously out now with the nasty fall the other day. So they're also in a great situation. They also have a bunch of talent and a bunch of assets moving forward into this summer. So I think their window is obviously a little more open than the Warriors, just on simple age and experience. But the Grizzlies are in a good spot no matter what happens in this game, in my opinion. Like they have so much talent. They have so many good guys to build around, to move, to keep growing with. You know what I mean?
I just don't want any celebrate. I hope there's not one celebration.
And they don't have a coach. I don't even know if they're going to hire.
Yes, they do. There's a substitute teacher in place.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly.
What, are they watching a movie today?
It's been happening. Yeah, bring in the TV. 7-point favorites tonight for Golden State, Lou. You think Memphis keeps it closer than that?
I don't think so. I think the Warriors handle business, and I think they do it in dramatic fashion on their floor. Like, again, we know the pedigree of this team. We know what they're made of. And so if I'm lining up both of these teams and I got Golden State on their home court, I'm saying Steph Curry to the moon.
Good Lord.
It's possible these days.
It is possible.
It would be empowering for men if he could do that.
That's true.
It would be really great.
I would love it. Astronaut.
Yeah, I mean, listen, 7's a lot, but I'm kind of with Lou here. I think the Warriors take care of business early, and I think they run them out the gym.
Same game parlay on this one. Also kind of fun. You got Steph with your 30, Ja 25 or more, made 3 or more threes, Desmond Bane with 15 points or more, and Jimmy Butler with the assists. Chandler, are you taking this one?
No, I don't think so.
What's the killer? There are more than
it's
one.
A lot of John Morant. It's a lot of stuff. I mean, it's just a lot. Jimmy Butler, 6+ assists. That's. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just don't love it. It's a lot of things have to go perfect.
Odds,
I know. Why are those odds so good?
Yeah, a lot of people think he would do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That would be the one thing that I wouldn't be sure on, and plus the 3+ threes for John Morant.
That's 3 celebrations. Oh my God, how many weapons can we come up with? Slingshot,
arsenal,
slingshot, a trident. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, he's here.
There he is.
He's getting mentally prepared. Darius Garland's back, y'all.
Running back, run it up, running back.
Running plays. I'm running plays.
A haymaker by Darius Garland. Garland for 3. Got it.
Really gotta get it every way.
All day.
He's back, and he gets to chill. I mean, some say almost too long of a time to chill for Darius Garland as they wait to see who they're going to play in the first round. So welcome back, Darius. We're going to get to all the good things, strategy, everything that's coming up. But just going back to Friday's game last week, didn't mean anything to you guys. Meant everything in the world to the Knicks. Somehow, some way, y'all come back from 20-something points down and get the W. I know in the Garden, everybody just shines. How much of you guys were like, yeah, we don't really need this game, but it would be fun to embarrass them on their home court?
I wouldn't call it embarrassing.
23 points?
Yeah, it's not embarrassing, but we just wanted to get that win. It's always good to get a win on the road, especially in the Garden, in the Mecca. So it was really good for us. It was a good team win, especially coming back from 23 down. It was definitely a great win for us, especially this late in the season. So it was really good for us.
They're trying to figure things out. Do you like this nickname, why are you laughing? Madison Square Garland?
It's really good.
It's actually pretty good.
That's
Merch.
fire.
Yeah, I think it's fire. I mean, I had a couple of big games in there, so I appreciate the love, but I know the fans in the Garden, they don't really like me as much anymore, so which is fine. I really don't want that villain role that everybody keeps talking about, but nah, it's cool though. The name is dope.
You know what? They may not like you, but they respect you. I do think that there's a difference.
Sure.
Your biggest rival, if you had to pick one as a team out there, who do you guys look at in the landscape and think of as the most heated matchup?
Of course, the Celtics.
Yeah.
They probably think of us like that we're like the little brother. So, yeah, probably the Celtics or either OKC maybe.
Really? Okay. So are you guys, I mean, that's the finals I want to see. But let me ask you this. You don't have to tell us who. I would never, ever presume to ask that. In your mind, though, quietly, is there a team you prefer to face first?
I'm going to answer quietly, right?
Yeah. You can just be like, maybe, or yes, but I'm not going to say who.
Do I really have to answer, though?
Fine. No, I'm just going to assume yes, but you don't have to tell us.
I'll take you off the hook. The #1 seed is secured. You guys got some time off as you await for the first round to start. How do y'all go about business with that time off? What does this week look like in preparation?
Man, for me, I'm just getting in the gym this week, trying to get my body right, keep everything intact, get in the cold tub, get some massages, get some treatment. So just try to keep my body right, stay in the gym a lot, so I can keep everything sharpened and keep everything in my toolbox sharpened up. And then wait till Friday, see what we get on Sunday.
So let me ask you this question, because a few days ago, the Knicks, they knew who they were going to play.
Yep.
Indiana and all those teams, they knew who they were going to play. Y'all are the #1 seed, and it's still up in the air. Does that create a disadvantage for y'all?
I don't think it's a disadvantage because we've seen everybody 4 times this year. So I don't think it's a disadvantage, but I mean, it's kind of like a.
But you would like to know who you're preparing for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would definitely like to know what we're preparing for, but I mean, we have seen everybody like 3 or 4 times. So we know the matchups, we know like all the schemes and stuff that we're going to do against the teams probably. But it's just tough with the whole week off.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a glitch.
You
have to wait till there's one of 4 teams that you could possibly play. Like even being the 2 seed, they're going to find out tonight who they play. You guys have to wait.
Yeah, you guys literally wait a whole week.
We only have like 1 day to prepare. We play Sunday. We won't find out till later Friday night. So it's pretty tough.
That's crazy.
Kind of wonky.
And the week layoff of like no games, like no competition really, that's pretty tough as well.
Yeah.
Just trying to keep your body right, trying to keep your game minutes and your stamina right. I mean, that's the only tough part about it, I believe.
Darius, let me ask you this. Obviously, your game, your stamina, everything this year was going your way. You're 6-year All-Star, played 75 games. Like you were right in the mix for, making All-NBA this year. Your team wins 64 games. What was the biggest difference for you personally this season than the previous couple?
Being healthy. I think that's probably the most healthiest season I probably had in my career so far. Playing 75 games is truly an honor because in the past couple of years, I haven't even gotten to 60 probably. So, just playing so many games and being there for my teammates and the coaching staff and even the fans, it's been really cool just to be out on the floor, just doing something I love. So, yeah, definitely being able to play games have been a big thing for me. And just have my confidence back. Kenny and the coach staff instilled a lot of confidence in me early. They wanted me to go play my game and be me. So that's why I came into the season going full force to my mind, just go be me, go be confident, and just go hoop. So that was my whole mindset this year.
And it's interesting is last year there's all these rumors how there's chemistry issues in the locker room, and now you guys are winning all these games, and that's just basically a rumor. And then you trade our boy G-Wagon. And now, so who's the guy now that kind of keeps everyone together, keeps it light in there off the court? Because you guys look like you have a blast playing with each other all season long, the most consistent team pretty much all year.
Yeah, I'm the vibe creator in the locker room.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, either me or Tristan. Yeah, we the vibe creators. Just try to keep the locker room a little bit light, a couple laughs here and there. But
you in charge of the Ox? You got the Ox score?
Yeah, I'm definitely
Bluetooth
trying.
now.
Definitely.
Yeah, the Bluetooth.
We're old.
Is White Boy Wednesday still a thing, or that was just on my teams?
Yeah.
Got that up out of here.
Let's go. I used to go to Beastie Boys, Linkin Park.
White Boy
We
Wednesday.
used to have White Boy Wednesdays.
Yeah, R.I.P. to
But
White
then we
Boy
ran out of
Wednesdays.
white boys. So.
We're a rare
We
breed.
got a
Luke.
couple now. It's not
We're a rare breed.
That's brutal.
So you talk about that 64 wins. That's a lot of time to celebrate. Obviously, the big goal is a championship. What kind of team are the Cavs off the court? Like, is Jared Allen going to the club after
Oh
a
my
big
God.
win? Like, are you guys hanging? Are you guys playing cards? What do you guys do off the court to get that chemistry so dialed on the court?
Yeah, off the court, we cool. We go to a lot of dinners. We vibe out a lot. On the plane, playing cards, playing Blu-ray, playing spades. But we used to just talk a lot on the plane. We talk about the previous game or the next upcoming game or just about life period. Got the speaker blasting. I'm on the aux, or Ty Jerome's on the aux. So we got a couple guys that step out every now and then, but it's not too much partying. It's probably like just dinners or a movie or just some little vibes. It's nothing too crazy. No, it's not a lot of partying on our team though, for sure.
Who's the most interesting, for whatever reason you've decided, but interesting person on the team?
The most interesting person? I'm gonna say Jared.
It's gotta
I
be.
knew it. God, I would have won money on that.
Y'all get my boy Dre Hunter to talk yet?
No, we haven't gave him to talk. Drake just came in and just fit right in. He fit in perfectly. And then, he got his boy Ty Jerome. So they had that connection for a long time. And then Ty just welcomed his boy in pretty early. So Drake's been cool. Drake been chilling. He haven't got used to the weather yet up here.
All right.
We got to get him a coat or something. But Dre's been perfect for us.
Well, it's cold in Atlanta, right, Lou? He should have.
It ain't
some-
Cleveland
Not
cold.
that
Well,
cold.
no,
Yeah, it ain't Cleveland cold
Tips.
at
It
all.
ain't that cold up here now. Y'all got to chill.
It's pretty cold. They'll get snow and ice.
Yeah, Atlanta don't compete. We shut the city down
Yeah.
with an inch of snow.
That's actually a good point.
Right.
You know what? You're fair. You're right. I am fascinated, Darius, by this whole Draymond Green manifestation of Defensive Player of the Year with his podcast. It's like magic is what he's basically figuring out how to do. And you've been talking about the fact that Evan Mobley is very, very much deserving of that award. What is it like in the locker room? Because how do you guys sort of interpret what Draymond's seemingly managing to do? He hasn't won it yet, but it feels like it's headed in that direction. How much is Evan really deserving of this over him?
Evan really deserves it. A young guy in the league that's really starting to come into his own. And defense is his first, that's his mindset, is try to stop the best defenders, trying to protect the paint, try to protect the rim as much as he can. So, if you guys watch the games, you see what his abilities are. You see how he affects shots and other defenders. And a lot of offensive guards that really try to switch on to him and try to get mismatches, and they know it's really a bad idea. And then, even the numbers, the statistics is insane. He's almost averaging about 2 blocks a game. He switches 1 through 5. He's switching on to elite guards, switched on to bigs. And that's what we really take pride in, is trying to defend guys his size and his length. So it's super cool just to see his abilities out there, being a 7-footer that's so young. That's really good. But we really had to advocate for him a lot since he was so quiet. So it was no shots at Draymond. That's my bro.
Of course
that's
not.
Big. So there was no shots at him. But Evan Mobley should definitely deserve Defensive Player of the Year this year.
I agree.
Well, have we
There's
thought?
nothing wrong with saying that.
No, and look, it's what we're watching is like an actual live in real time campaigning, which is what Draymond's done, and it's kind of shocking to watch. Is there been talks amongst Cavs that maybe we do like an emergency sort of podcast situation where we can start getting our message out there loud and proud? Because that's all he's doing.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit, but I think we're just gonna go the media route.
Okay.
Have the media just do what they do. But we've been tweeting a little bit. We've been putting it out there a little bit just on our end. But Draymond really has a cheat code with his podcast. He can really go on there every day and talk, which is super cool, and it's really working. But just trying to get Evan out his shell. Like I said, he's trying to grow into his own. He's trying to get confident in everything that he does. So try to get him out of his shell so he can start talking a little bit more, because he really deserves this award for sure.
I was going to ask, with all of the historical great defenders in the league that you've seen over the time, do you get that vibe like you're working next to somebody who can possibly be a generational defender of your time right now with Evan?
1,000%.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible. Like, he's 7 foot. And Lou, you know, Chandler, you know, it's a guards game now. So we have to be able to switch out to smaller guards. And that's a really tough thing to do, being 7 foot and really skinny, but can really move and go block shots at the highest peak. So he's definitely deserving of it. He really earns it. I think it'll be pretty crazy if he doesn't get it, especially with all the numbers and everything that's going along with it that's on his side. And then being on one of the best teams in the league and having one of the best defensive ratings because of the Twin Towers that we call them, with Jared and Evan. Our whole defense is based around those two guys. So, I mean, I don't think it's a question that he shouldn't win it.
This is the whole voting thing I don't understand. Like, if we're giving SGA the MVP because their team is the best, how do we not give him Defensive Player of the Year because their team is the best?
I'm not arguing.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's arguing with
Yeah.
you. I'm telling you, it's a science project we're witnessing, like manifestation. It's bizarre. Do you guys? I'm wondering about the noise, right? Like, there are a lot of talking heads that keep saying that most teams would rather face you guys before they face the Celtics. You know, given the standings, it seems pretty disrespectful. Are y'all blocking that noise out, or are you using it as motivation?
No, we're blocking all the noise out. We've been hearing noise for the last 3 years that we've been in the playoff. So, yeah, we knock all that off the shoulders, and we just worried about us in the locker room. The outside noise don't really get into the locker room or really get to us. Like I said, we've been listening to it and hearing it for years now, so it doesn't do anything to affect us. We know that we have enough in the locker room to go do something special, so that's what we plan on doing.
Darius, we just mentioned it with the campaigning with Evan for Defensive Player of the Year, but the Cavs recently posted some very convincing stats on you being the clutch player of the year. And you see the favorites are Jalen Brunson, the favorites are Trae Young. Is that the same kind of thing? Does that matter to you at all? Or do you want to be obviously talked in that breath? But when you look at these numbers, you're 45% from 3 in the clutch, you're plus 85 in the clutch, which leads the NBA this season. So do you feel slighted by that? Is it just a classic, like, sleeping on Cleveland like most people have done all year long? Where does that come from?
I think it's sleeping on Cleveland, of course. Small market, but small market thing is starting to get on my nerves now.
Yeah.
Because the two small market teams are the top teams in the league.
Right.
Yep.
And I would love to be in the conversation for sure. The number shows I should. But in other people's defense, we haven't been in that many clutch moment games.
Nice.
It's not your fault. You blow everyone out there.
Not my fault. But it is what it is. So, I mean, yeah, for sure, I would definitely love to win the award. I would love to be talked about in the conversation, but I don't have as many clutch moments as those other guys.
It's fair.
That's a fair argument.
Yeah.
So I understand it, but when those clutch moments come, I'm here. I got the ball in my hand. I'm trying to make the right play for my teammates, and I'm trying to win that game. So hopefully not as many clutch moments in the playoffs, but we can definitely keep it going so I can have the rock in my hand.
DJ, I'm curious to know, because when I'm out and about, people always ask me, like, give me your list of guys that can go get a bucket. With you being an elite ball handler, having the ball in your hands, you got LaMelo Ball, you got Kyrie, you got Steph. Give me your list give me your top 3 guys with the best handles in the league.
Not including myself.
Why not? Put yourself in there.
If we've learned anything.
Let's start there.
Okay, so me, Kai, and Steph.
There you go.
Easy.
Yeah.
See how
Super easy.
super, a short list and an easy list. I love that. We got to talk a little style, because who doesn't love that? And you mentioned your mom is your shopping partner, which is amazing, by the way. So is she, like, when you say shopping partner, is she styling you? Does she have a budget? Like, what are we looking at?
The budget is crazy.
It's a big budget.
No.
It's limitless.
My mom, so growing up, it was just me and my mom that just go to the mall. Like my dad, he would just chill at the house. And then my brother, he used to work at like Kids Foot Locker and Foot Locker growing up. So I used to get all the kicks, and, like all the Jordan tees growing up. So that's where it really started. Like me and my mom would just go to the mall almost every weekend and probably window shop or either buy stuff from Kids Foot Locker or Foot Locker. But no, she's not styling me. She'd just give her opinion on a couple pieces that I like. So you should try this out one game, and
I love it.
try to get some little tips and stuff. But I definitely get my swag from her and my dad. But yeah, it's long gone now. She don't do as much. She just watch me swipe my card, and she had done something in her card too.
So we don't know who you're playing yet, game one.
Of course
but do we know what you're wearing yet, game one?
That's part's
Has
easy.
that been decided?
No, it hasn't been decided yet. I might come cool for the first game, for the first couple games at home, just come a little chill fit.
Like it.
And when it gets a little bit later in the year, I'll start putting on
Bringing the heat.
I mean, dear Lord, by the time you get to finally get dressed for a game, it's a whole freaking week, Darius. So we're excited to see what you guys do in these playoffs. Thank you for the time and
For sure.
crush. Good
Good
luck.
luck,
bro.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you. We'll be back.
Run it up, run it back.
Not talking about them, but of course we're not. Phoenix Suns. Da-da-da-da. Yeah, we know they finished 11th. They're not going to the playoffs. And then it happened. They're paying a third coach not to work. 3 in 3 years. The highest payroll in NBA history. They got nothing. They got no assets. There's really no light at the end of the tunnel. It was on the board, Lou, that perhaps maybe, but they did it. Like, what's the plan here?
We'll watch just like everybody else. But you know, this is the first stepping stone of them moving forward and trying to get this thing back on track. You know, Bud wasn't the guy for the job, and obviously that showed with some of the body language and some of the things that we saw on the sideline with his veteran players. You know, once you lose the locker room or lose the respect of those guys just based on the optics and the things that I saw, it's going to be hard for you to continue on. And so with that firing, I think that's just the first block of many moves to be made.
Fair.
Yeah, like I understand something has to change, and you have this much talent, and you fail, and you don't even make the play-in. But just business-wise and optics, this is a horrible look, man. You go from firing Monty Williams to Vogel to this dude. Now you're paying him $10 million a year for the next 4 years.
It's amazing.
Like this just shows me how much there was a disconnect here, though, and the relationship obviously was not great with him and the current players. And I looked at Devin Booker. I think he's their longest tenured guy. He's the guy going forward. He's the one guy that I would think that they would try to move last.
Yeah.
And clearly he was okay with this. And I'm assuming there's some dialogue, maybe even with KD on his future and things like that. But just bad business, to be honest. I hate the whole coaching, hiring, and firing. It's a cold business. But I don't know if I look to this team in this season and be like, you know what, they suck this year because Bud. I don't know if that's the problem.
I wish one of you wanted to coach this team because it's like just go in, put 8 months of work and get paid.
I would love to coach this team and get fired and get
the
10
dream.
mil for 5 years. I would love that gig.
Dream. That's why I'm kind of pushing for one of you to do it. The book thing is interesting. By the way, this piece of information, Devin Booker has had 7 coaches since being drafted in 15, and this next guy will be his 8th, which is
tough.
So I'm wondering how much of it has to do with that. There was also the story that Chris Haynes came out with that earlier in the season, Bud asked Bradley Beal to play like Drew Holiday. I don't know much, but telling a dude to play like another dude is not it. Maybe he worded it incorrectly. I don't know. Like, Lou, is there a way to defend Bud's advice here? Like, what is that?
No, I think he realized he had a lot of guys that could score the basketball, and he need more utility guys opposed to that. And who's going to be the odd guy out? Like, you're not going to ask Devin Booker to be the guy that goes out and defends and be a 3-and-D guy. You're not going to ask Kevin Durant to do it, so who's the odd man out? It was Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is the guy that he asked that, and that's not the reason that you brought him to Phoenix. You brought Bradley Beal to Phoenix to be exactly who he was in Washington. He's a bucket. He's a guy that can go out there and score the basketball. You can put the ball in his hands at any given time and go win you basketball games. And so when you bring a coach in that kind of deviates away from the mission statement, that deviates away from the plan that was originally set for you. Like, I get it. When you're a player, different things need to happen when you start dealing with some adversity. Like, you have to make some adjustments. I don't think this was the one. And so from top to bottom, I think it was a bad mix of guys on this team. It wasn't a clear-cut pecking order with roles and what was expected. And this was Bud's way of trying to figure that out, and it blew up in his face.
Yeah, there's other, like Royce O'Neal is that kind of guy, the dirty work. The Ryan Dunn, the rookie. It's not a Bradley Beal. It's not a guy with that has all the leverage and the no trade clause. That's not the guy making $50+ million the next couple of seasons. So I don't understand this. But again, it's hard to point at Bud as the blame for all this, but I mean, Jesus, they have to create some sort of identity and culture, and firing 3 coaches in 3 years is just a horrific look. Like, there's no stability, there's no consistency with leadership, and it starts and ends with the head coach. And I don't care how much talent, how many players they bring in, it's just a mess there without a head coach every single year. Like, what are we doing?
But, like, if you're an aspiring, and I'm genuinely asking this question, if you're an aspiring coach somewhere out there, you're not like a household name yet, but do you also, like, look at this potential job as, hell yeah, hire me? Because at the worst case, you fire me.
Fire me and I get paid for nothing?
Like, I mean, are you looking at this job for all the wrong reasons
right now? If I'm Bud, I'm peace out. I've double dipped. I'll do some TV and I'm out of here. And you can double dip, do whatever. I'm just saying. But even if you don't get another head coaching job, this money he's set financially forever.
You can take a break, for sure.
Take a break. And again, I think he's getting older. I don't know how many opportunities he's going to get again, but who cares?
But do you feel, if you're Bud, hey, I'm better than whatever this appearance looks 100%. Like? So you're going to want to have another shot quicker rather than chilling?
I think he chills for a second.
I think he should. I don't think he should jump back into anything.
Was this your second fired in, what, 3-4 years?
Yeah.
Right? And now I'm getting paid for the rest of this decade, basically. Why stress myself out with these things? Why be criticized for something that I can do at home in front of my TV with a beer in my hand?
40 mil.
Yeah, just coach from the couch, coach.
I'll take it. I will take it. And by the way, Sham, shout out, reporting that the Suns are still expected to work with KD's business partner, Rich Kleiman, to find his next landing spot this summer. So, does any of what has just happened make KD think about sticking around, or are we still, that ship has sailed?
I think so. I think when you get rid of the guy who you could physically see him getting into it with a lot of games and the banter, that wasn't normal competitive juices flowing. You could tell there was a disconnect between Kevin Durant and Bud. That doesn't take a genius to figure that out. The game we went to in Austin,
you said
during the play, this dude was just chirping at him back and right. He's kind of waving him off during timeouts. You don't do that to a head coach consistently that you respect. So I think this definitely is a step in the right direction. And I don't even blame Ishbia. I think he's a new, young owner that is just thirsty to try and figure this out. And obviously, optics and business-wise, they just keep recycling through these coaches, but he's trying to figure it out. And
it's very expensive lesson.
But it is, man, it is. They got to figure out something soon. But I do think, if anything, I would think this would make KD want to stay more, that they're actually doing something that he would maybe want and getting rid of Bud.
Okay, so yes, but we've gone through the fact that they don't have assets, that they're the highest payroll in the history of the league. So even if you were to stay, like if the 3 stars stayed, that's a big if, why would you want to, Lou? Because what would be different, number one? I don't know that changing a coach changes the whole vibe of this team. Why would you want to stay?
The only logical thing I can think of is you're talking about 3 Supermax guys with pride.
Okay.
And all of their legacies are on the line. Like Kevin Durant, this is a legacy piece. Devin Booker, this is a legacy piece, as well as Brad Beal. So if I'm these 3 guys, the only logical thing I can think of is we got to make this right. We got to clean this up. Like, this can't be the only shot that we get at this thing to make Phoenix a winner again, you know? And so removing Bud from that, you still have a lot of different things that you got to address. Like, at the end of the day, your coach, you do follow his lead. But those guys are veteran enough, good enough basketball players. They should have went out there and been good for 40 games alone, just on talent by itself. And so with that, you got to look in the mirror. All of these guys got to look in the mirror. And so when they do that, do they see that future collectively? Do they? When I look in the mirror, do I see these guys right there with me? Now, that's going to be the question that remains. But the only reason I think they will run this possibly back is this leaves a bad taste in all of their mouths, and they want to get an opportunity to correct this.
To me, Bradley Beal, he's going to be the odd man out, right? I think he's the one up, but he's got the most leverage. He's got the player.
Crazy.
You know, he's 50 $50 whatever million for 17 points a game. Like, that's, again, his stats took a hit this year, which I think think is obviously scaring more teams away even more. But I do think he still has a lot left in the tank and a lot left to contribute. But I just don't know if it's going to be in Phoenix.
I really don't know what this light at the end of the tunnel is supposed to be. It's hard to find at this moment. We're going to take a quick break. More Run It Back on the other side.
Run it up, then run it back.
This comes up every once in a blue moon, and I love it. So the Pistons are putting restrictions, geography, on their ticket sales. So you got to be in Michigan, some parts of Ohio and Indiana to get tickets to the playoffs against the Knicks. Because we know when you watch a game, there are Knicks fans everywhere. Lou, do you like this?
I love it. I love it. We got to draw a line. It's the playoffs. We're not playing friendly. It's Detroit versus everybody, and that starts with the ticket sales. So
it's awesome.
Yeah, we're not allowing y'all in our building. It's cool. If you want these tickets, you got to jump through a couple loops to do it. You better turn your geo tag on to Michigan and buy your tickets. Other than that, it's going to be flooded with Detroit red and blue.
There's nothing more frustrating than playing in Atlanta or Memphis and just seeing all these Knicks fans and all these. It's like, oh, you're a Knicks, like enough. So I love the fact that they're doing this, and they are going to try and create a Pistons home court advantage.
It won't be hard to do. Detroit is a great place to play basketball when you're winning.
I know there are very good vibes coming from
this. This should even put Pistons fans on alert more to buy more tickets and to go there and support and cheer and just keep those Knicks fans out.
How hard is it though if I'm a Knicks fan to just reach out and be like, I'll give you a fee if you just get me all these tickets?
Sure, but you know what?
You have to work for it, though,
I'm going
at
to go
least.
out on a limb and say this might be some of the most affordable playoff tickets for all teams. No, that's not a bad thing.
Okay, good.
I think that makes sure that it ensures that you have the right type of fan in there that wants to be there for Detroit Pistons.
Did Ballmer do that for the Clippers? He's like made it cheap so that we fill the place up. I like that. Duh. What's better, to have a bunch of expensive tickets and empty seats?
By the way, not just Detroit. Every team should do this.
I do
Every
agree
team,
with that.
because there's all these fake Warrior fans now, and there's all, you know what I mean, like. Don't make it easy for them.
Lakers fans are Lakers fans everywhere.
Celtics fans
College
everywhere.
does this too sometimes. Like you have to live close enough.
Yeah, they get like one section. Like they should do that.
I don't hate it. Taj Gibson Chandler thinks that more free agents should consider going to Charlotte, calling it special. I'm not done. And a gold mine. Now, do you want to laugh again? Are you buying what he's selling?
I think Taj is smart. I love him. I think he's pleading for a front office role when he retires in the near future, because I don't see it, but I've never played there. I've never lived there. I've never spent much time there. All I can see is the production and the wins and losses on the court, and it's not special, and it's not a gold mine, so I'm not buying it.
I think he's speaking, I'm going to put words in his mouth. I think this is off the court.
Yeah, and also this is why he's there. This is why he's there. He's a vet. He's not playing many minutes. He's a good locker room guy. He is there to say things like this.
It's their tax situation. I have no idea.
Not bad.
It's probably pretty good. We're not gonna do it.
Today's tax day.
Yeah, whatever. Anonymous Western Conference executive. You know what, Lou? You get this. Austin Reeves is the best undrafted player since Ben Wallace. Buying that?
Tackle it, Chandler. Go ahead.
I mean, it's pretty. You got Fred VanVleet,
you got
champ.
Some. Yep.
But I mean, yeah, Austin Reeves has been great. He hasn't been an All-Star yet, but I mean, man, if he continues to be on this tear that he has been on the last couple of months, yeah, he's up there. But there's got to be a list. I mean, I think John Starks was.
There's got to be a pretty good list.
Ben Wallace, but I mean, sure. I don't have the list in my head right now, but he's up there, especially if he continues to play like this.
Are we doing a watch party at your house tonight, Chandler?
No, I'm all set on that.
Do you see why we don't like him? I just want to make sure the world gets to see it as well.
I'm going to go get breakfast because I didn't get any this morning.
The biggest baby I've ever met in my entire life. Guess who's back tomorrow? Bobby Portis.
Hey, been too long, Bobby.
Run it back, run it up, then run it back, yeah.